Hello and welcome to Finally Got Around To, a place for game news, reviews, and editorials. Today, I'm going to be talking about some of my most anticipated games over the next, I guess I'll say year, but I would think that, I would guess that most of these are going to be out before the end, before halfway through next year is my guess. Some of these games do have release dates already. Some of them have early access dates planned. Some of them have nothing at all, so there's really no telling, but my guess would be that the majority of these are going to be out by this time next year, which is why I'm really excited. Some of these games I have played a free demo of on Steam, which you could also do, and I'll mention that when I talk about these games, but some of them I've also played at events like Summer Game Fest and stuff like that, so might not be as accessible. But actually, now that I think about it, I think only one of these games is one that I've played at a event, so not that inaccessible. But yeah, just gonna quickly do the kind of improv video as I go through these games that I'm very excited about. So first on the list is Beastieball. This is from Wishes Unlimited and published by Clay Entertainment. Kind of a very unique concept. It's basically like a monster catcher, but instead of like having the monsters battle like against each other, they actually just play a game of volleyball, which is kind of really cute and fun. I actually recently got into there was a Steam playtest that there's a free demo for this on Steam right now, which you could download and play for free, but you can also sign up for, maybe you can't, I think you can still sign up for it, but there was a basically a play test that was like an extended demo, and I just got through playing that last week, and it was a lot of fun. I had an awesome team of beasties, and it actually was like there was a lot more strategy and challenge in the battles than I kind of initially thought there would be, just looking at the trailers and stuff. The beastie designs are all really great, and there's a lot of fun areas to explore. I don't know, it was a really fun game, and of course evolution's always going to be exciting. Before this ends, let's start it over again. Yeah, I think this is just a really fun game. This is probably one of the top games that I'm looking forward to. So yes, it does have a free demo on Steam. You can check it out. And they just announced that they're going to have another play test later this year, so make sure to sign up for that if you're interested. I am definitely going to be playing that when that happens. And then I believe the early access is also going to be happening later this year, so probably after that next play test. And then a full release later, maybe early next year or so. I don't know that, but I know that there's going to be an early access later this year, and they have said that there is going to be basically like a full, you can play through a full story, a full part of the game in that early access period, so that's going to be very exciting. Yeah, and if you want to read about this game, the developer publishes a lot of really awesome stuff about it on Substack, so I'll link that below if you're interested. But yeah, that's the first one. That's Beastieball. Very excited about Beastieball. Up next, we have a game called Crypt Custodian, and it is made by developer Kyle Thompson, who made another game called, I shouldn't have gotten into this, I think it's called Isles. I can't remember, but it's also a really great kind of platformer thing. But basically, this is like a top-down Metroidvania kind of game where you play as a cat who has been basically cursed to be the janitor of the underworld for the rest of their existence. And as you can see, there's lots of areas to explore, lots of ghosts to talk to. So I got to play the demo for this during the Steam Next Fest earlier this year, which I think is still out on Steam now if you want to check it out yourself. But very fun characters, like the writing is really great, kind of funny, and there's lots of combat, lots of fun things to engage with. fun areas to explore. And I'm really excited because this game actually comes out next week. The full game comes out next week, which is really exciting. You just run around smacking monsters with your broom, and you actually do clean. Like, there are messes, and you are actually encouraged to go clean those things, because it kind of ends up being like the currency of the game. Really cute, clever, fun game that I think is worth checking out, and I'm definitely going to be doing my best to play it next week. And yeah, very excited for Crypt Custodian. It's hard to say sometimes, Crypt Custodian. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is Earthblade, which is by Maddy Makes Games, or the people who made Celeste. So going to be another really great 2D side-scrolling platformer, but hopefully that's not too loud. But I mean, look at this art. This pixel art is so gorgeous. It's basically it looks to me like it's going to be almost like kind of a Celeste, but with more combat. Obviously it's called Earthblade, so you're going to have a sword, but you're going to be running around. There's going to be monsters like these things to fight. There's going to be lots of different areas to explore that all look very colorful and beautiful. I mean, look at all this pixel art. I am personally very excited, and now we get a little glance at some of the combat. So I'm just there's not really a ton of information about this game. I saw a post from the developers maybe a month ago that they're looking for I think next year, 2025, this one is going to come out. So there's not a ton of information yet about when this game is going to come out. I also haven't played any demos or anything of this game either. I'm basically just going off of the look of it, and that the developers made Celeste, which is like one of the best indie games of the last decade. So definitely a lot to look forward to with this one, and I'm very curious to check it out. I also still need to play Celeste, but don't flame me too hard in the comments about that one. And we'll move on to the next one, which I'm very excited about. It's called Windblown. This was a trailer they showed at the Game Awards last year. And what really caught my eye was the three main characters being kind of anthropomorphized animals, but kind of unusual. It got like an axolotl, a bat, and a lizard. And it's very, very violent, as you can see, made by the creators of Dead Cells. Motion Twin is the name of the developer. But basically it's like a co-op roguelite where you're running around this area fighting off all these robots and other monsters. This is another one I have not had the chance to play yet. They haven't had any free demos or anything out, but I'm hoping that the opportunity will present itself sometime soon. They have promised some kind of early access for this year, but I'm not sure how certain that is. Games get delayed all the time. So this could easily be something that comes out like next year. But either way, I'm really looking forward to it. The people that made Dead Cells, these guys know what they're doing when they're making a game. And I just like the look of this one very much, so I'm excited to give it a try. And it's fun that it's co-op too, so I think, are they going to say, see, early access 2024? I don't know how certain that is anymore, given that it's August 2024 and there hasn't really been any news about it. But I'm still hopeful. This one looks really fun, just kind of a actiony one, a little more actiony, fast-paced than some of the other games that I've talked about so far, but I just like the style and aesthetics of it. So next we'll move on to Aethermancer. This is by Moirai Games, the creators of Monster Sanctuary. Kind of another monster catcher in the vein of Beastieball, but more of obviously the monsters actually fight each other, and you run around an open world, kind of top down, as you can see. But something that really caught me about this was the pixel art of this, and of course the monster designs are always great. But I'm very curious how this will play in terms of like how the monsters' strategy, all their different abilities and stuff like that, and these like kind of, it's 3v3, but I think your character can also participate in the battles, which is kind of cool. And I would love to see more monster catcher games kind of do something like that. There was a play test for this earlier this year, but I was unable to participate. I did try my best. There was like a sign up thing, but I wasn't able to get in to the play test, so I was very disappointed. But I mean, look at all these creature designs. These, they just look so great, and I just want to play this game. So if there's ever going to be another play test sometime soon, I definitely want to take part. But as far as I know, there's no solid plans for any kind of release for this yet. Very early on, or not very early. I mean, look at this, but it's definitely not at a point where they're, it's going to be out this year or anything. But I'm keeping my eye on it, and I'm very excited to hear anything about it. Really, they often post some cool stuff on like social media about like new monster designs and stuff like that. So it's very fun to keep up with this game. Yeah. So I'm hoping that sometime soon there's an opportunity to try this one out, and I'll definitely let you know when I get that opportunity. Yeah, move on to the next one, which is Hyperlight Breaker. Now this is the one that I actually got a chance to try at this year's Summer Game Fest, which was a lot of fun. I wasn't able to beat the boss. Oh yes, made by Heart Machine, the makers of Hyperlight Drifter and other games like Solar Ash. So they've made some really great games, so I have a lot of trust in them to make this one great as well. To me, it looks a lot like kind of a almost like a Risk of Rain 2, but like a lot more, I don't know, melee combat. I don't know. I haven't played as much Risk of Rain 2 as I should, but I'm just getting those vibes, and I'm very excited to like get a crew of 2 or 3 friends together to run around in this game. Now, the sad thing that I learned recently from a update from Heart Machine is that Hyperlight Breaker is, the early access was planned to come out later this year, but now it looks like it's coming out, not going to come out until next year. So early 2025, which, thankfully is not that long to wait, but any amount of time that I have to wait to play this game is time that I don't want to spend. So, yeah, that's a little disappointing, but of course, I'm very, I want these guys to take as much time as they need to make this as good as it can be, because I don't want them to rush it out. I don't want them to send out a half-finished product. Of course, it's still going to be early access, but I still want it to be worth playing and good and everything. So of course, take your time, get it to us when it's ready. But having played the demo at Summer Game Fest and potentially playing it at PAX as well, although I'm not sure how easy that's going to be because this is a crazy good game, I definitely am looking forward to it. The sooner the better, on one hand. Yeah, it looks like a really fun game, and it's got great combat. There's swords, guns, all kinds of crazy monsters, and there was one great moment. You can read more about my experience at Summer Game Fest with this. I published it on Game Pressure. I can put a link down below. I was fighting the boss, and it wasn't going well, but then I got this like perfect parry against the boss that the developer standing over my shoulder was really impressed by, and so I'm basically riding that high through into the fall, winter, and hopefully early access. Yeah, only a couple more games that I want to talk about. Move on to the next one, which is Neva. I don't know. It's kind of unclear how to exactly to pronounce it, but it's from Nomada Studios, the people that made Grease, which is Gris, not Grease like the movie. But this is a beautiful looking game, kind of a 2D side scroller, but it doesn't really look like it kind of all, it doesn't, you don't, so like certain games, kind of like Celeste, where you can kind of tell what blocks you can jump on and stuff, but Neva doesn't really have that. It's all kind of blends very well into the environment. But I mean, just look at this art. Like this isn't gameplay really. This is kind of a cinematic trailer, but having seen the gameplay trailer as well, like it basically looks exactly like this. Like maybe not quite as choreographed action, but like the art style is basically exactly this, which is really great. And of course, as the trailer is about to show, you do kind of fight alongside a young wolf that kind of grows alongside the character, and it looks like it's going to be a very heartfelt, very emotional game. I worry that this game's going to make me cry, but you know, the best games are supposed to, you know, drum up emotion within you, aren't they? So yes, I'm very much looking forward to this from Nomada Studios. It does say coming in 2024, but there's no hard release date on this yet. There also hasn't been any demos or anything that I've played. So going basically on looks and previous developer experience, yeah, as you can see, the creators of Grease. Yeah, this looks good. I'm looking forward to it. I know it's going to be a beautiful game, and hope the gameplay is as good as it looks. Yeah, I'll move on to the last game I want to talk about today, which is 33 Immortals, which is made by, is it Thunder Lotus Games? I know they're probably about to show me. But yeah, this is a game. There was a couple of closed betas. Yes, Thunder Lotus. Okay, cool. I got that right. There was a couple of closed betas, or maybe just one closed beta earlier this year that I was able to participate in. And you can go to their website and sign up for that as well. I don't know if they're having any more or not, but I know their early access is coming sometime soon. Basically, the concept of this game is a top-down action game where you are one of 33 players that basically jump into this world and try to escape the underworld. And, you know, I don't know what the actual exact end goal is, but basically to try to escape the underworld. And how to do that, you basically like team up with some people, go into a dungeon, fight a bunch of enemies, break out of that, and once enough people have defeated those dungeons, then you all of the remaining players then go to fight a boss, and when you beat that boss, then you get to the next area, and I think you have to get through 3 areas in order to actually, you know, defeat the game. But basically, it's a very fun. It's been a long time since I've been in a multiplayer game like this, where without any actual voice communication, you can kind of tell what people are doing. Like, oh, okay, I'm going to follow you. Oh, I'm going to help you out. And that felt really fun. So I'm really looking forward to this game when it actually at least releases in early access and more people have access to it, and I can play it with some friends. As you can see in this trailer, there's the swords and the bows and arrows. Pretty sure there's going to be other styles of combat. I forget if I can actually talk about it. I think I can. I think I published about it, but yeah, there's like knives and staffs that you can also, so like there's multiple different ways to play, different kind of almost like classes, but it's really just weapons. So there's a lot of variation, and I hope, I'm not sure, but I hope that there's going to be even more weapon choices when the game eventually launches in either early access or full launch. Yeah, just a really fun multiplayer game that will be fun to play with friends, but is also fun to just play on your own and kind of team up with a bunch of strangers to try to, you know, save yourself. And that right there at the end actually was one of the only boss, I I think, that I actually was able to fight in the beta. And I don't think I ever actually beat it because it was pretty tough. Yeah, normally by the time you get to the boss, or at least I shouldn't say normally, in my experience, by the time I got to the boss, there was not 33 people left in the game. It came down to, you know, somewhere more like 20 or 15 people left. But still a really fun game, and looking forward to playing it again sometime soon. And maybe you can join me. Thanks for watching. And this has been Finally Got Around to excited games that I'm games I'm excited about. That's the way to phrase it. If you enjoyed any of these games, let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe for more cool indie game recommendations, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Also, check out the website. I'll leave a link to my website down below where I write about video games. You can read all about it. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye!